Y'all have been voting Republican your whole life because they keep telling you, you let them get their hands on it, they're going to fix it and you ain't going to be poor no more. And look at you, still fucking poor.
If you ask anyone what their favorite mob movie is, they're either going to say Godfather 1 and 2, Casino, or Goodfellas. My favorite is Goodfellas.
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
The whole first half of the movie shows how fun being in the mob is. These guys are doing heists, breaking laws, making so much money, and they're literally treated like superstars everywhere they go. It really shows that these guys have the world at their feet and it glamorizes mob life. But 2 hours in, after Tommy, one of the main characters, is killed, there's a sudden shift in the movie. Now, mob life isn't glamorous anymore. The old crew is gone. Henry, the main character, is drugged up, paranoid, isolated, and hanging on by a thread before everything comes crashing down around him. And he says,
"This is the bad time."
And that's exactly where we are now as a country. It feels like everything is crashing down around us, and these are the bad times.
Wages have not gone up. Health insurance premiums are going to go up. Car insurance goes up every year. People's homeowners insurance goes up. Rent is going up.
As your SNAP benefits are about to expire and millions of Americans are not going to have a single dime to be able to go out and put food on the table, and the economic impact that's going to have on our economy, not to mention the $500 million of food rations that Donald Trump canceled because, you know, he's bitter.
I don't think people really know how bad things are right now and how much worse they're gonna get. And what's crazy is Trump hasn't even been president for a year. But right now, there are more Americans unemployed than there are jobs to offer them. And that's before some of the biggest corporations in America just simultaneously announced mass layoffs.
UPS fired 34,000 people and Amazon fired 30,000.
People were already struggling with inflation and a down economy, but now SNAP benefits for more than 42 million Americans are ending, while the price of groceries and everything else continues to go up. Farmers and ranchers that voted for Trump are going broke and losing everything.
The U.S. slaps tariffs on foreign goods, claiming it will protect American farmers. Sounds tough, right? Except now, those same farmers can't sell their stuff overseas because other countries hit us back.
And even if you're working a regular job, saving money, doing everything you should be doing, the American dream has become unattainable for most, as the average age for first-time home buyers has gone up to 38 years old, the highest in history, while huge corporations are buying homes and pricing out would-be home buyers only to make them lifelong renters. And federal employees can't pay their bills. They are in food banks just to survive, while there is talk that the government shutdown can go all the way into the new year. And now everyone is suffering. It feels like everything is crashing around us, all because so many people chose to vote for the wrong person. These are scary times.
It's a challenge. We're just trying to cancel anything and make sure we're on a forbearance for our mortgage, so we're doing whatever we can to make ends meet.
But I'm Jew. Welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Republicans, and especially Republicans, because I'm talking to you guys. As your SNAP benefits are about to expire and millions of Americans are not going to have a single dime to be able to go out and put food on the table, and the economic fucking impact that's going to have on our economy, not to mention the $500 million of food rations that Donald Trump canceled because, you know, he's fucking bitter and let his ego get in front of the welfare of the American people once again. As all that's about to happen, and you're going to feel it in places like West Virginia and Alabama and Mississippi and Louisiana and Missouri and Texas and all those places, you're going to be desperate. Okay? And when that happens, I want you just to remember this one single fucking fact. Okay? Democrats also want to give you SNAP benefits. Democrats also want to give you affordable or even free health care. Because Democrats, they realize that even when they get elected in Democratic areas, that they have to fucking govern for everybody, including you. So remember, Democrats are the only ones that want to take better care of you as an American, while Republicans, who hold every single lever of power in our government, all the way from Congress to the Supreme Court, every single fucking lever, and could easily reopen the government and make sure you get fed and make sure your health care benefits don't triple by next month. they could do that. All they would have to do is just not cut billionaires' taxes even more.
I think we've always known that the rich get richer, but I don't think we've ever seen it like this before, where the average person is literally getting crushed while billionaires' net worths have exploded over the last 4 years.
UPS fired 34,000 people and Amazon fired 30,000.
What happened?
UPS has vowed to fire an additional 14,000 people and Amazon has vowed to fire 14,000 more people too.
Is this because of AI?
Amazon said it's because of AI along with a bad economy, and UPS closed 70 facilities to try to save $3.5 billion this year. And it gets worse. Target plans to fire 8% of their corporate workforce, Nestle 16,000 people, Intel plans to fire 15% of their workforce, Microsoft 9,000 people, Procter & Gamble 6% of their workforce.
There's more?
But yes, because many other businesses are following suit with upcoming layoffs, such as Novo firing 11% of their workforce, ConocoPhillips 25% of their workforce.
Isn't this bad because there's already more unemployed people than jobs available?
As of 2 months ago, there are more unemployed people than jobs available. However, these layoffs are good because now the billionaires can get richer.
If it wasn't so sad and scary, it would be ironic that so many Americans voted for Donald Trump because he's the business guy that's gonna clear out the swamp when he's done anything but. The U.S. is seeing the largest number of layoffs since 2020, with nearly 1 million people losing their jobs so far this year. We could have avoided this, but so many people didn't want to vote for a woman, or especially a woman of color, that called all of this out.
I will not cozy up to tyrants and dictators like Kim Jong-un who are rooting for Trump, because, you know, they know he is easy to manipulate with flattery and favors. They know Trump won't hold autocrats accountable because he wants to be an autocrat himself. And as president, I will never waver in defense of America's security and ideals, because in the enduring struggle between democracy and tyranny, I know where I stand and I know where the United States belongs.
Just yesterday, some of the largest companies in the world announced huge layoffs right before the holidays, right before so many people in America lose their SNAP benefits. While the government is still closed down and they can't get any other help. UPS 48,000, Amazon 30,000, Intel 24,000, and the list goes on. And these are not your normal layoffs. Many of these jobs are being replaced by AI. Amazon layoffs begin this week with over 30,000 jobs being replaced by AI and robots. The fourth industrial revolution means the elites know your services are no longer required, and therefore you are expendable before you drain the state longer than you need to. This isn't like people are being laid off because companies are losing money. People are being laid off due to greed, because so many of these huge companies figured out that they can just replace us. These aren't temporary or seasonal layoffs where these jobs will come back. These jobs will be lost forever. These layoffs should concern everyone. These shifts are happening at a rapid pace and the average person is not prepared. The argument that AI will create more jobs than it takes is ludicrous. In my opinion, we are entering the most unpredictable period in human history. Unfortunately, I only see layoffs accelerate in the next few years. Insulate yourself as much as you can. This is where having your own trade greatly benefits you, because an AI or robot is not replacing electricians or plumbers anytime soon. So if we lay off everyone to increase margins this year, who will have money left to buy your products next year? But companies do not care how bad the people and the economy is hurting. It is all about money for them, squeezing every penny for their stockholders, which is how we get to a place where we're facing the highest unemployment since 2020, but the stock market is breaking records.
You have all of these companies basically saying they're either laying off employees or that they're dramatically slowing hiring over the next year because of automation and because of AI, so that companies can then do the work of humans using robots or using artificial intelligence. This is unfolding very fast.
The AI apocalypse will be bad enough or affect enough people if that was all that was going on. But we are currently dealing with an administration that seems like it is currently trying to destroy this country, trying to destroy the economy, and hurt as many people as possible. Everything this administration does seems very mean-spirited and anti-American. And even some Republicans are starting to wake up now.
All right, breaking news. Marjorie Taylor Greene just essentially played Donald Trump's hand for him.
Prices have not come down at all.
The job market is
still extremely difficult. Wages have not gone up. Health insurance premiums are going to go up. Car insurance goes up every year. People's homeowners insurance goes up. Rent is going up. Young people have no hope of buying a home. And then when they try to buy a home, they end up, like I said, they end up competing with like Blackstone or somebody else.
The average home buyer now is 38 years old.
Some of my own personal family members, some of my own personal friends, they're getting by month to month, charging up their credit cards.
I never thought I'd say this, but Marjorie is one of the only Republicans who's kind of just dropping the facade and saying, you know, people are struggling a lot right now.
The United States is going through the largest amount of layoffs since, check notes, the last time Donald Trump was president. Which is crazy that this is what people voted for, like they weren't aware of everything that happened the last time he was in office. Every single Republican president in my lifetime has crashed the economy. Trump is the first to do it twice. And there are so many people that don't know that that's a fact. Every time Democrats inherit a Republican economy, they fix it, they improve it, and then end up passing a good economy to a Republican who then destroys it.
Republican President George Bush gets elected and gets handed an economy from Bill Clinton that's booming. The GDP's at 4%, just created 22 million jobs. The unemployment rate is at a 33-year low. America says, yeah, thanks Democrats, we got it from here. Hands it to George Bush. He leaves it in a recession. Obama gets handed an economy that's losing 700,000 jobs a month, fixes it up, makes 16 million jobs, cuts the unemployment rate from 8% to 4.8%. America says, yeah, thanks for pulling us out of recession, Obama. Thanks for pulling out of recession, Democrats. We've got it from here. Hands it back to the Republicans. Hands Donald Trump an economy that is on the largest economic expansion in the history of America, 128 consecutive months. Trump leaves it in a recession again. Actually, 10 of the last 11 recessions have all been under Republican presidents. How long do we expect Democratic politics to clean up your mess?
And the same people that voted for Trump are now being hurt by his policies. Like so many farmers and ranchers who are on the brink of losing everything.
Soybean farmers were hammered during President Trump's first trade war with China in 2018. Now the administration is promising them another bailout.
We don't want the aid. We want the trade.
Gaffner says one-time relief is not a long-term solution.
If China starts buying elsewhere, which they are doing now, once they establish those trade routes, it becomes more difficult for them to come back to the U.S. to buy their commodities. Once we lose that, we may never get it back again. And that's huge for next generations.
You ever see somebody set their own house on fire and then hand their neighbor $40 billion because their house needs a new roof? Welcome to American trade policy. This is so crazy. Just try to hold on. The U.S. slaps tariffs on foreign goods, claiming it will protect American farmers. Sounds tough, right? Except now, those same farmers can't sell their stuff overseas because other countries hit us back. Reciprocated tariffs. That's econ speak for they flipped us the same middle finger. So our beef and soy exports tank. Meanwhile, Argentina jumps in and fills the gap in the Chinese market. They loosen export taxes, flood that market, and start cashing in. And what does America do? We give Argentina a $40 billion bailout. $40 billion to stabilize their economy. So now we've literally bailed out our own competition while American beef producers and farmers suffer. But wait, we're not done there. After bailing them out, the U.S. signs a deal to import Argentinian beef. That's right. The country that just lost beef sales due to this ridiculous tariff policy is now buying beef from the folks who replaced them. And when American ranchers complain, Trump offers them another bailout, similar to the 2018 bailout of $12 billion. What prompted the 2018 bailout? The same damn thing. Overly aggressive tariff policy by Donald Trump. Okay, so where's this money coming from for the new agricultural bailout? This is where it gets fun. From the tariffs the American consumer is forced to pay that started this whole thing to begin with.
So many people voted for their own destruction and are surprised that they are suffering right now. What's worse is all of these people will vote for Donald Trump again. It's literally going to take a blue wave to win back the House for midterms, which makes no sense considering where we are and what Republicans have done.
Well, the Democrats were right again. Do you guys remember when we told these Trump supporters that if Trump put tariffs on everything, that American companies would jack their prices up? Well, that's exactly what happened with American beef. As soon as Trump put in the tariffs, American cattle farmers raised their prices 10 to 15%. And now Trump is importing beef from Argentina to undercut the prices of American farmers. Isn't it amazing how Trump has completely fucked over American farmers at every turn?
One of the cornerstones of the American dream is a house and a picket fence. Now, most people are no longer able to even afford that house for multiple reasons, but this is probably the most sinister.
BlackRock just bought 50,000 homes at $300,000 each, then sold 3 to themselves for $700K. Your neighbor's value just doubled overnight and you can't afford to live there anymore. They're stealing the American dream. Inflated sale prices become the new market rate. So the family that saved for 10 years to buy their first home, outbid by a corporation with infinite money. The elderly couple who owned their home for 40 years, forced out by property taxes they can't afford. BlackRock rents these homes back to the same families they priced out. The rent is $2,500 monthly.
I have no clue how it's not illegal for huge corporations to buy up single-family homes en masse and to price out regular home buyers. As if everything else wasn't bad enough, this is literally turning a generation of would-be home buyers into lifetime renters, which means they'll never be able to accumulate wealth or enjoy the tax benefits of home ownership or pass down that wealth to their children. And we haven't even gotten to how many Americans are already struggling that are depending on SNAP.
It is so clear that some of y'all have never ever been on food stamps before and you don't know how it works. So you're saying, oh, all those welfare queens are going to get exposed and my grocery bill is going to go down. When in fact the exact opposite is going to happen if and when SNAP benefits are not put out into the world. Think about it this way. 1 in 6 people are on SNAP benefits. That money, when spent, gets spent in your local economy, in your community. And if that money goes away, that money's not going to get spent in your community. And grocery stores are going to have to figure out how they're going to make up for that profit loss. In order to do that, they're going to pass it on to the customers who are coming in, who do have the money, which is going to see a 1 to 2% increase in your grocery bill. And groceries are already up over 3% since the start of this year. And I want to say 1 in 4 children are the recipients of SNAP and EBT benefits. And that money is going to do what? Go back into the general fund of the U.S. government to do with what they wish.
And all of this is happening while the federal government is still shut down and millions of federal workers are struggling.
In Washington, where the stalemate in Congress showed no signs of ending, federal employees are struggling to make ends meet, with some seeking help at D.C. food banks. Amy Uklu is a former USAID worker who was fired in February.
I'm showing up to food banks when I can. We're applying to jobs constantly. Our unemployment just ran out, so now we have no income coming in. It's a challenge. We're just trying to cancel anything and make sure we're on a forbearance for our mortgage. So we're doing whatever we can to make ends meet.
Across the country at the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, air traffic controllers handed out leaflets asking for public support. Mark Roush of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association said many of his colleagues were considering taking up temporary second jobs.
It's affecting us because we have to figure out what we're going to do with what little money we may have left in savings, or how are we going to figure out, are we going to get more money coming in? We're going to start driving Uber, we're going to start doing maybe DoorDash, figure some other kind of way to generate income while still going to our jobs in air traffic control facilities and doing the work in aviation safety professions across the country without getting paid.
The shutdown is the second longest in U.S. history, behind a partial lapse in funding that lasted 35 days beginning in late 2018. During President Donald Trump's first term.
So the 2 longest government shutdowns in history were both Donald Trump's, but this is what people voted for. And the Republicans that could end this shutdown at any time are choosing not to even negotiate. Democrats offered a bill to pay all federal workers during the Trump shutdown. Every Republican kept it from passing. How do you not pay people who are working? And I really couldn't say it any clearer than this. Y'all should have voted for the black lady. And I didn't even touch on immigration because this video would have been much longer. But this is what people voted for, and we're all paying for it. And I'm not making this video to scare you, depress you, or make you paranoid. I just want you to be aware of what's going on, what's at stake, and what you can do about it. The only thing that we can do now is try to take care of ourselves, batten down the hatches, save as much money as possible, get out of debt, protect ourselves and our family, keep speaking out about all the nonsense going on, and show up to vote next November, because that is the only way to put the brakes on this runaway train. Because because it really feels like we're in the last days of Rome. But shout out to the channel members. Thank you so much for y'all support. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about everything in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.